And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our second segment, which is going to be talking about some All-Star Game storylines to watch. But before we do that, I'd like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. It really does help, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. GSMCpodcast.net, and we'll go back into the show for today. All right, before we do talk about some All-Star storylines, we have another comment here. Going from our last segment, which is the Home Run Derby. He says, my dream Home Run Derby hitters, Ohtani, Judge, Soto, Henderson, Harper, Schwarber. Yeah, I think I agree with most of these. Ohtani, Judge, of course, I mentioned those guys. Soto, of course, already a winner, so I'm not sure what else he has to prove. I'm not sure he would do it, but of course, fantastic. Gunnar Henderson, yeah, I think he, again, is fantastic for the Derby. Bryce Harper, of course, another former winner. I think will be great. And Kyle Schwarber, that's definitely a pick I did not think about, but I think would be great. That huge lefty swing in any ballpark would be great. I think he's really made for it. And yeah, that would be very interesting as well. But going back to this now, we are going to be talking about some All-Star storylines, giving my thoughts on 5 things I think everyone should be watching as we go into this All-Star game and just going over these storylines. So yeah, starting off with number 1, we have, of course, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, the dynamic duo of baseball. Now, ever since Soto was traded from San Diego to New York in the offseason, he has done every single thing that the Yankees have asked for and more. He's been the elite hitter they've needed to complement Judge, has really held this lineup together, and has just been such an intimidating presence within this Yankees lineup, and really has been such an amazing trade. And I think just watching Judge and Soto hit back-to-back in this All-Star game is going to be a storyline. I mean, we get this amazing combination exposed to a national audience, to basically every baseball fan. And yes, people are going to say, well, they're on the Yankees, don't they get enough media coverage? And you're right, but at the same time, a lot of people don't watch Yankee games. They're not able to because of blackout restrictions in baseball, which is a big problem. And I think now going to a nationally televised game like the All-Star game, watching Soto and Judge versus some of the best pitchers in the world, hopefully they get to face Skeens. Hopefully Soto gets on base and Judge gets to face Skeens, so both of them do. And that would be really great as well, seeing both these guys, 2 of the best hitters in the world, 2 of the biggest stars in the world, face these amazing pitchers in the NL. I think will be very, very fun. So, yeah, it will be really great to watch, and it will be very exciting to end up seeing these guys versus all these great NL pitchers, being able for every single MLB fan to be able to see this dynamic duo. Of course, I live in New York, I have cable, so I'm able to see Yankees games basically whenever I want. And as much as I'm a Mets fan, I do still watch the Yankees because I'm a fan of baseball. I like watching baseball games, so I watch them a lot, and I can tell you firsthand how electric they are, how fantastic they are to watch, and yeah, really, really exciting to be able to see them on a national stage, and for a lot of people to be able to expose their talent level and be able to see just how good they really are. So that is it for the first one. After that, we're going for our second one, which is, of course, the man of the hour, the man of today, the guy every single person is going to watch the All-Star game because of, Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is starting the NL All-Star game for a reason. He's become one of the biggest stars in baseball since getting drafted a year ago, and has already become a superstar, has already become one of the faces of baseball. Off the field and on, he's very known for what he does. And, being able to have him start the All-Star game was a fantastic, fantastic choice by MLB and Diamondbacks manager Troy Lovullo, who is, of course, managing the NL All-Stars for this game. And being able to have Skeens exposed to a national audience today on ESPN for all the people who are going to watch this All-Star game, whether you're a baseball fan or not, it is very, very exciting to be able to also see him against some of the biggest stars in the AL. Of course, he's going to be facing Gunnar Henderson, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. He said he is only pitching an inning, so that's obviously unfortunate a little bit. We want to see him go more, but obviously you don't want to risk injury, so I understand. So being able to guaranteed be able to face Gunnar Henderson and Juan Soto is fantastic. And if one of the first top 3 batters, of course, does get on base, he will be able to face Aaron Judge, which, of course, I'm sure a lot of people will be wanting. So being able to have one of the young superstars of this game on national television, being able to watch him pitch against these other amazing American League All-Stars is such a very exciting time for baseball. Such a great decision to be able to have him start the All-Star game. And yeah, very, very exciting to be able to watch him and see what he can do. Next, we are going to be having Elly De La Cruz. Again, kind of like Paul Skeens. I would say he's maybe the hitting version of Paul Skeens within baseball right now. He's one of the young superstars of this game that is exciting, draws people in, and plays for a smaller market. So being able to expose a guy who is exciting as this, but frankly plays for the Cincinnati Reds, to be able to have him exposed to a national market on ESPN will get a lot of people to watch, and people who aren't even baseball fans to be able to watch him and see, wow, who the heck is this? Will be very, very exciting. Elly is one of the most fascinating players I've seen in my lifetime, one of the most exciting players in my lifetime. I saw the Reds play the Cardinals a few weeks ago in person, and I got to see Ellie steal a bunch of bases, and man, was it exciting. The thing about Ellie that is so amazing is that every single person on the field knows he's going to steal when he gets to first base. If he hits a single and it's one out, it's like no outs or one out. Everyone in the outfield, everyone in the infield, everyone in the stands, everyone in the clubhouse knows he's going to steal. And the best part is there's nothing you can do about it because he's so good at stealing bases. He's so fast. He's such an exciting player. And he's someone baseball needs. He's been able to learn English rather quickly in his MLB career. And let me just say, as someone who had 7 or 8 years of schooling of Spanish, it's very hard to learn a different language. And whenever a young player is able to learn English, I'm very impressed by it. And I think you should get a lot of credit for it. So props to him. He's become one of the faces of baseball already because of how exciting he is. How just cool he is, how open he is to being marketed, and how just a great guy he seems like, how good of a face of baseball he can become. So very excited for fans of all ages, of all different types, to be able to be exposed to him on the All-Star game, to be able to see him not only hit, but hit against some of the best pitchers in the world in the AL, be able to run the bases as well, how exciting he is there. So that's another great thing I'll be watching, and I think is very, very exciting. After that, we have Mason Miller of the A's. Of course, one of the most exciting players this entire year. Was 102, 103 consistently. And, playing in Oakland, not a lot of people watch him because there's not much reason to watch the A's except except for him and Brent Rooker, I guess. So being able now to, again, have a national audience exposed to him, be able to see how good he is very, very exciting. And yes, he's on the A's. We're not sure how much longer he's going to be on the A's. Personally, if I was the A's, I would trade him, to be perfectly honest with you. But we'll have to see if he is on the A's by August 1st still. But being able to have a guy in the A's who is exciting as he is, who is as good as he is, exposed to a national audience, get everyone to be able to see how good he is something that is very good for the game of baseball, because in this short amount of time, he's become one of the most exciting players in the game. And again, I think it's very cool to be able to have a lot of people be newly exposed to his talent level and be able to see just how good Mason Miller is, how fast he throws, how much break he throws. And again, his stuff is absolutely electric, fantastic. Every single word you can think of that means amazing. So yeah, very, very excited to see him on our national market. Be able to excited to see a lot of people get exposed to him for the first time, get exposed to his talent level for the first time. And yeah, I think overall it's going to be very, very exciting to be able to see what is going to be happening with Mason Miller and what is going to be happening with his time now in the All-Star game. Last but not least, we have first-time All-Stars. There are over 30 first-time All-Stars in this game, and it is very exciting for these guys to be able to be put on a national market, be able to put on a national stage, get the recognition they deserved. I did pick Logan Webb for the poster boy of this. As you can see, he is the photo on stream. And that's because I did not realize Logan Webb was a first-time All-Star. I thought this guy would have been a 2 or 3-time All-Star at this point. I think he's pretty much been one of the best consistent pitchers in baseball for a few years now, and the fact that he is only a first-time All-Star is pretty crazy to me. So props to him for being able to get the recognition he deserves. But just having these 30-plus first-time All-Stars on a national stage, getting the recognition they deserve, getting to be able to be part of this All-Star weekend, be able to be with some of these guys they grew up with, I'm sure, be able to look at some of their superstar guys. I mean, you're looking at some of these guys like Aaron Judge, Jose Altuve, Bryce Harper even. These older veteran guys who aren't even that old, but still are veterans, these younger players, being able to interact with them, being able to be in the same clubhouse as them, I think is very, very cool. And again, just having all these first-time All-Stars is very, very exciting. I mean, we talked about 2 of them before in Paul Skeens and Ellie De La Cruz. 3 of them before, actually, in Paul Skeens, Ellie De La Cruz, and Mason Miller. So being able to have all these first-time All-Stars shows how much the game is growing, how many different kinds of players are getting into it. And yeah, I just think it's a very exciting time for baseball with all the young amounts of talent we have in the game, and I'm very, very excited to end up watching them. So, just going over this again, some All-Star storylines to watch. Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, this dynamic duo that's exposed to all kinds of baseball fans now in this All-Star game. After that, we have Paul Skeens, of course, the man of the hour. Every single person's going to have their eyes on him. Very exciting to watch. Ellie De La Cruz, exciting to watch him on the base pass in this entire game as well. Always exciting to see him, especially for a national audience now. Mason Miller and his electric fastball and his electric stuff plays for the A's, probably doesn't get a lot of national coverage, so to be able to have him on a national stage is very exciting. And then last but not least, of course, all these first-time All-Stars, 30-plus, Logan Webb I picked as the poster boy because I think he might be the best of them all. So yeah, it'll be very exciting to watch all these All-Star storylines. And we'll be going into our third segment now, which is going to be talking about some notable non-first round draft picks. I will be explaining all of these guys and just going over them as well. So yeah, just talking about that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye. There we go.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to